Tonight's the night for football, everybody. The bright lights are on, the stage is set, and the crowd is ready. It's Monday Night Primetime on EA Sports. As the work week kicks off tonight, another week of football comes to an end with a Monday Night Primetime contest between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears.
Santos to kick off for Chicago.
It's our Monday night opener for the season. Both teams are set up, and off we go. Let's take this at the 10. Finds some space. He's past the 30. And he was pushing for midfield there before they finally dragged him down at the 45.
I'll tell you what, this quarterback will sure appreciate a run back like that to begin a ball game. It makes your life a lot easier, and they're going to be set up with really good field position to get things going.
Starting the drive with a give to Jones. And he'll stay upright through this rain, but not through that hit as he's tackled that for about a 1-yard gain. He gets a couple on first, and they'll come up 2nd and 8.
Brings up 2nd and 8.
From the shotgun, McCarthy. Has him on the quick hitter. And he has this one past the 50 and will start downhill into Bears territory.
Number 3, Jordan Addison. It's a gain of 6. And it's 3rd down.
Bears bringing out an extra DB here. 3rd down. He's going to try to pick it up. Do get him down, but the damage is done. He just gets down inside the 35-yard line.
I call that a table setter right there. Table setter for yourself as a team in that huddle, gaining confidence on the ground, and you know that's going to set the table for some great play-action pass to come.
Here's 1st and 10 from the 34. Play action, McCarthy. Made the throw as he was getting hit, Brock, and it's incomplete. Well, no look on his first look of the game, and it's going to be 2nd down.
This is why we hear about closing speed so often when you evaluate players. You know, once he senses the pressure, he's getting rid of that ball. It takes a player who can close quickly to get to him before it's released and alter that throw.
2nd down, McCarthy to pass. Nothing there left side as it ends up incomplete.
Well covered on that play. Really not a large window for him to sneak that throw in.
Brings up a 3rd down and 10 yards to go.
No connection on the last play. Now it's 3rd down. Here he goes. 3rd and long. The left side brought in by Hopkinson. Good job defensively here to contain the pass. This is going to be 4th down.
Feet and eyes, Kate. Feet and eyes. They so often tell the story of every position on the field. When that quarterback's feet and eyes move to his secondary read, and so often it's a tight end, well, it's incumbent on that defense to fly to the ball. You want to make that tackle, force the 4th down? It took a great defensive effort to do it.
And they apparently don't want a field goal to start this game. They want 6. They're going for it. Quick throw right side. It's a Minnesota touchdown. The Vikings finish up an excellent opening series. It's a T.J. Hockenson touchdown. All right, so a nice little drive they put together there in their first series of the season, partner, and the year begins on a high note with a touchdown.
Yeah, they'll be able to begin this season on a high note with a win. Well, they put more drives like that together, they sure will, but I don't know. I got that Pete Carroll just still bouncing in my brain.
And it's no good. He missed the extra points. Rain, slick conditions, maybe making their presence felt as they fail to add another point on. Wasn't accurate on the extra point, but he should be able to keep this between the sidelines, hopefully, as he sends this away. Return coming from the 6. And he's brought down just beyond that 25-yard line.
Bears take over first and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
Bears making their way up to the line. Here comes first and 10. On the ground, this is Trey Benson. And he manages to find a little traction on that search field as he fights forward for a couple. 2 on the pickup there, and it's going to be 2nd and 8.
It's 2nd and 8.
Working from the gun, Williams. Got a man, it's Colston Loveland. And he will have this across that 40-yard line before they manage to stop it. It's a gain of 12 there. And that's good for a Bears first down.
Bears first down.
Here we go. We got Biggie Casket.
First and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Williams on the play action. Bails out of the pocket quick. And he just hucks this one away. Wasn't going to risk a throw or force something. It brings up 2nd down.
Look at the coverage on that play, Kate. I love that. That is textbook defense right there. When the quarterback escapes the pocket, and you got to find somebody. You got to go get sticky on your offensive guy. It's exactly what the secondary did, and it forces the throwaway.
We'll give on 2nd to Benson. Into enemy territory and a yard at most from the first. That brings up 3rd down.
Some backs are easier to tackle than others. Some, well, they just choose violence. They look for those opportunities to bust through tackles and keep those legs pumping.
Ready to Benson on 3rd. And he's tackled with the first down yardage.
You love a huddle. Kate, you really do. You love a huddle full of guys like this who just know how to keep the drive moving forward. There's some trust there that he's going to get the job done, and he's going to get another shot, I would guess, down the line.
First down, Williams to throw. To the ground it goes. That's incomplete. Luther Burden, the guy he was looking for. And it sets up second down.
They would sure love to connect on some of these intermediate throws, those chunk throws. Getting a completion like that, well, not only does it spark your offense, but it just sets you up for even more aggressive play calling.
They're going to run here. Kyle Manunga. And he's brought down after a tremendous effort just to get a couple of yards. Only 2 yards on the play, and it brings up 3rd and 8.
Okay, that's a run that's ho-hum on the stat sheet, but if you see a bigger play on the ground later on, it'll largely be because of a play just like that one, softening up the front and opening the door for a bigger gap in the future.
3rd down. Here's Williams. Escapes the pocket. And he's brought down after a short gain.
That's such a bummer, Kate, for a quarterback. If you have to scramble and take off, you'd really like to find a way to move the chains. He could not. That defense rallied, they responded, and they forced a 4th down.
So on 4th down, out is Cairo Santos for the Bears field goal. This from the right hash and a considerable distance. It's good, not by much, but it's indeed good, bottom left. And that cuts the lead in half, down to 3.
He has tried quite a few kicks in his time in the NFL, Kate, but a little extra excitement, I think, from everybody on the field. You don't get many chances to set a new career long. He took a shot, and he delivered.
Escapes a defender. And that's going to set them up just beyond their own 20.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Minnesota into formation. It's 1st and 10. I'll start with a give to Jones. And he'll take this ahead for 7. We've got 2nd and 3 now.
Cool thing about a drive starting run like that, Kate, is it really just gives you every opportunity to play with whatever you want to do. But as for me, I like to reward that runner. Give it to him again and see if he can get you a new set of downs.
It's Jones on the toss. Excellent play defensively as they get to him behind the line. That's going to bring up 3rd down. Man, some of these middle backers are so impressive these days, Brock. No problems at all for him to range downhill and cut that play down behind the line.
Kind of the calling card of the position played today. They're not as big as they once were, but boy, can they run. As you said, whether it's downhill or sideline to sideline like that.
Throwing on 3rd, McCarthy. Falls to the ground out left, incomplete. Couldn't connect with Jordan Addison. And that leaves them with 4th and 5. The Vikings getting their punt team out. And he drives this one into the pouring rain. Starts the return at the 34. And the end of that return, Brock, also brings us to the end of our 1st quarter. So we're down to 3 quarters remaining in our opening weekend of football. We've got a 6-3 ball game. Back to Soldier Field in just a moment. We're back and all set for the 2nd quarter. Bears football. They got this after forcing a punt at the end of 1. And off to Benson to start the drive. And they'll get this through the midfield stripe and starts pushing into Vikings territory.
That run may not have gotten you a first, but sure, nice little run to set the table.
On play action, here's Williams. Look at that power, deep left side. Caught in, inside the 20. And their next snap is going to come from the red zone, Brock. He's down to that 17-yard line. Thinking touchdown here after that big play. We've got 1st and 10 from the red zone.
At the 17-yard line.
Manunga gets it off his own read. And somehow he manages to get back to the line of scrimmage before going down. No progress on 1st down, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Where one defender failed, well, his buddy was there to swarm to the ball and make that play just as it gets to the line of scrimmage.
Williams from the gun. Finds him over the middle. And he'll be taken down at the last possible moment. He's at the 1. Give him about 16 yards on that game, Brock, and it sets him up with first and goal.
Run it up.
Benson will score. Touchdown, Chicago. The Bears take a second quarter lead. Trey Benson, the touchdown. Santos connects on the point after. And the Bears take a 4-point lead. Santos has it all teed up and ready to send this away. Starting from the 5. All right, and in the end, Brock, this is going to make it out to the 30. Now they're whistling for timeout here. Somebody's shaking up on the play. Not the way he wanted to begin his rookie season. Wow, let's hope it doesn't cost him much time. Throwing on first, it's McCarthy. Armington nearly picked it. Oh, couldn't hang on in the end. The offense got lucky on a risky throw there. It's second down.
You know exactly what he's thinking. Hopefully next time it's a little bit easier. The degree of difficulty on that one high. Throwing to double coverage, odds are against you.
McCarthy trying again on second down. Running a screen now for Jones. They're all over that screen, Brock. Didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage.
Kate, that's one of those situations as a quarterback that on my grade sheet, that's a negative. That screen was ambushed by the defense, and you've got to throw it away. Just find a way to put it at his feet and not create a negative play for your offense.
On third and long, it's McCarthy. Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop it. And a couple of really good plays, Brock, made back-to-back behind the line to bring up fourth down. Minnesota lined up in punt formation. On the return for the Bears, Devin Duvernay. And he gets his guys a few yards before they bring him down on the return.
The Bears take over first and 10 at their own 49.
The Bears with some nice field position as they get set. First and 10.
Run it up.
Now begin this drive with Benson. And he needed his 6 yards to begin this one. They've got 2nd and 4.
That is simply a stay-on-schedule kind of run. Nothing more, nothing less, just right on schedule.
Run it up.
They go with Monangai here. Down the sideline inside the 30. And he's got his guys into the red zone before someone can force him out. They got 24 yards on the play. And that's a Chicago first down.
Run it up.
First and 10 at the 20-yard line.
From the red zone now. That's incomplete left side. Looking for his wide receiver there. So it's second down coming up.
Brings up second and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Run it up.
Williams gonna run with it. And he takes this one in for a Chicago touchdown. The Bears now lead by 10. Caleb Williams, the touchdown. My partner up here is pumping his fist after that one. That is how you run an option as a quarterback. Good read to hang on to it and do it himself.
Yeah, because I could never do that, not even close. But when the defense overplays and you run that option, you get that good 2-on-1. More times than not, they will commit to the more dangerous guy, the running back. But you leave a lane, this quarterback can do some damage as well.
Starting at the 10. Good work so far. He's got room. He's at the 30. He does it. Touchdown, Minnesota. The Vikings make it a one-score game in the first half. Well, when it's set up perfectly, Brock, and you get an exciting return man back there fielding it, wow, there are not many plays in football more exciting than taking a kick back for 6.
Find those blockers, follow those blockers, and then step on the gas. So simple for me to describe, yet that's so tough to execute on the field.
And not liking what it looked like ahead of him there, Brock. So he's going to take a knee, and this is going to come out to the 35-yard line. Some nice field position here. Bears getting set. 1st and 10. Drive starts with an option. Right side. And Williams is going to get them the 1st down with a slide at the end of it.
Well, more often than not, it's the passing game that's asked to go from 1st down to 1st down in just one play. But when you get that big play potential on the ground, geez, it just infuses your offense with confidence.
Benson on 1st and 10. And 2nd down is going to be a good bit tougher. He can't even get back to the line. This play loses yards. Out of the gun, here's Williams. And again, an interception is dropped. Looked a whole lot like the last play, didn't it, partner? And again, the turnover escapes him. It's going to be 3rd down. They need a good chunk here, at least 14 yards to pick up this 1st down. 3rd and long for him here. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact.
I'll say, Kate, that defense looked even better, sharper on 3rd down than they did on 2nd. They played that one so tight there was no window to throw.
On 4th down, it's Torrey Taylor on for the Bears to punt this away. And some textbook work covering that ball. It is stopped after almost nothing on the return.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line.
Vikings to the line now. Here's 1st and 10. Now a give up the middle to Jones. This is tough running in this weather out there, but he keeps the feet moving, gains 3. It's a gain of 3 for him. That brings up 2nd and 7.
I don't think that's the amount that they were looking for there, Kate. Going to lead to some shuffling around here in the playbook. Find a more aggressive call on 2nd.
On play action now, McCarthy. He's across the 35. Oh, he lost the football. And no turnover. It's going to stay with the offense. And they will finally catch. Now we have a stoppage. No challenges inside of 2 minutes and a half, but the replay official wants to take another look at this on their own.
You know what? Everybody on the field is going to make mistakes. The key is to clean that up as quickly as he can. Ball carrier loses possession, but he doesn't panic and lose composure. Instead, well, he hops on the ball and he saves the day.
So the review saves them a turnover. He was, in fact, already down when the ball came free. Here's McCarthy on 1st and 10. That one falls incomplete. Couldn't make the connection deep downfield.
The offense not shy about sending him downfield to try and stretch that secondary. Even still, one of the deeper targets you'll see him get. It's a shame they couldn't find a connection.
Second and 10, McCarthy. Has a big strike to Addison. And he will stop him as he gets this down to their 39-yard line. The Vikings call a timeout. It'll be their 1st. 1st down now, ball at the 39-yard line.
It's a gain of 25 yards. 1st down, Minnesota.
Again, McCarthy to throw. They'll just throw it away, but here comes the flag. There was nobody in the neighborhood of that one. No one in the area. He was still in the pocket. Seems like a pretty cut and dry intentional grounding to me.
Seems like you want to be an official someday, Kate.
Maybe.
Yeah, because you nailed that one.
Throwing again now, McCarthy. This is Jefferson, and he's got it. And this one's worked down to the 33 before being stopped. Minnesota spends its 2nd time out here. And they still have one in their pocket for what's left of this half. 3rd and 4 coming up now. Back to the air, McCarthy. He's able Benson. This is caught. And he pushes this down to the 22-yard line. Now a timeout taken by the offense, and we're going to see if they try for 2 plays here or just try the field goal right now. Coming to the line for another 1st and 10. Another throw here for McCarthy. Oh, no touchdown. It's intercepted. That is Lewis Seen. And the Bears intercept the final throw for the end zone, and that is how our first half's going to end. So that's the halfway point of this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Brock and I will be back right after this.
To kick off for the Vikings.
We'll see what the first half adjustments of the season are as they're teed up, and away we go in our second half. And we'll have to wait at least a few moments longer for an exciting start to this second half. We've got a touchback. The Bears with some nice field position as they get set. 1st and 10. Third quarter underway. Here's Benson. And he continues to find no traction on the ground here, Brock, as they bring him down for no gain.
As that linebacker makes that tackle right in the middle of the field, all I'm thinking about right now, Kate, training camp. Because that's the middle drill right there. That is textbook. What you do in training camp, coming to life when it matters.
Back to Benson here on 2nd. We'll couple together a yard there. That tackle made by Blake Cashman. Vikings into the nickel for this 3rd down play. They'll throw 3rd and long. That's caught for the 1st. And they push this down to the opposing 47-yard line. That's 16 on the pickup. And that's good for Bears 1st down.
And the Bears first down. 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line.
Williams will look to throw. This one's caught. And good tackle, but a flag is down, likely against the defense. Always a point of emphasis, right? Protecting the quarterbacks, and that play is going to draw the flag every time. Roughing the passer on that last play, and that's always going to lead to an automatic 1st down. Working from the gun, Williams. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete. He's looking for Colston Loveland. So it'll be 2nd down. This is a guy who's used to embracing contact, Brock. Usually makes catches in spite of it, but I guess it's tough for anybody to make a play every time.
Yeah, I think these tight ends today, Kate, spend as much time in the old ice bath as just about anybody. And when you don't make that catch and you take the contact, well, that stings like the first seconds in the ice.
And they have this down to the 11 before being marked down. Whistles after that play for an unfortunate sight. A player hurt in the 1st game of the season. Training staff out to work on it.
Slam left. Alone.
Sticking in the air, it's Williams. Has him on the quick hitter. And not much doing. He stopped quickly.
That's not a big completion on a stat sheet, but that's a big contested, what I call gritty catch right there. And that's what the best tight ends will get you.
Now 1 second before they call delay a game, a timeout comes in. As that'll leave him with just 2 to use the rest of the way. 8 yards to go. Let's see how they approach this 2nd down. Hand off to Benson from the gun. Oh, man, nothing for him again, Brock. It has been a struggle all game as this one's quickly mopped up, too. This 8-play drive might be on its last legs here, partners. They trying to figure out this 3rd and 7. Williams to throw. He couldn't hang on, Brock. It looked like a touchdown, but it slips right through his hands, and now it's 4th down. The Bears bring on Cairo Santos for the field goal. The 12-year vet strikes true, and that'll make this an 8-point game.
That's why they spend all the time on the practice field during the week. That kind of operation. Perfect rhythm, perfect timing, and a 2 for 2 for this kicker.
And he'll decide to pass on the return here and take the touchback instead.
At their own 35-yard line.
So good field position to start with for the Vikings. It's 1st and 10. Jones trying the left side. And he stopped after picking up 9, so they're set up well here with 2nd and 1.
That is just a great drive starter. What every offense wants. Gives you a little bit of energy, a little juice, and now a really manageable 2nd down.
After a quality effort on the last play, just really need to fall forward here to pick up that 1st down. 2nd down carry for Jones. A gain of a lone yard, but Brock, that's all they needed. 1st down.
That's certainly a spot where you could be more aggressive, Kate, if you want to take your shots. But some coaches, even the bolder ones, will take the safe play first when they get it from time to time. No 3rd down required now.
McCarthy fires out wide, complete. And he drives this across midfield and down into enemy territory.
That's what you call efficiency. Exactly what you're looking for in 1st down. Textbook. It sets up 2nd and very manageable, and it creates that space if you want to take a shot downfield.
The toss to Jones, running left. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
That's what I call a healthy return on investment. You run the toss play, looking for positive yards, looking to move the sticks. I'm looking for that to be called again.
Slated downs to approach here from the 40. Off the play fake, it's McCarthy. Flushed out of the pocket. And he just gets rid of it. Knew he had a couple of plays left. Didn't want to take a risk there on 1st down.
Those are the kind of decisions you got to make in that spot. And the smart quarterbacks, they seem to do it consistently. When you're in enemy territory, a throwaway is always better than risking a turnover.
2nd down, McCarthy to pass. Dumps it off to his running back. And he's tackled after gaining a handful.
Well, this is the type of game we've come to expect from him as a runner, toting the ball, but he's just as adept at turning the screen into the same kind of yardage, too.
Quite the drive they've had, Brock, but they're up against it. 3rd and 5 now. From the shotgun, McCarthy. And that one's too far in front of him, so now they're facing 4th down.
The numbers tell us pretty clearly, you get to 3rd and long, extra long, it's really hard to stay on the field. That's disappointing because that was 3rd and manageable and an incomplete.
And he drives this one skyward, hoping to drop it near the goal line. Fair catch called for and brought in at the 11.
1st and 10 at their own 11-yard line.
Chicago bringing the offense to the line. It's 1st and 10.
Ready for that.
Here's Williams. Odunze's got it right side. And that tackle stops him after a solid gain.
I'm not going to lie. I know they got a completion, and completions, you never turn them down. But to make that throw for those yards in the double coverage, that is way too much risk for that reward.
Benson now from the gun. Defender gets to him right around the line. It's going to be marked as no gain. So, Brock, that means 3rd down coming up.
A gain of a yard brings up 3rd and 5.
Ready for that.
Williams from the gun. He's got his man. This is Walker. And he's tackled with the 1st down yardage.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line.
We've reached the end of 3 in our Week 1 opener. It's Bears football to begin the 4th as they try to hang on to the lead in a close game. keep this drive moving, partner. Here's another 1st and 10.
Ready, set.
Off the play fake, Williams. Finds him over the middle. And he's going to have this up near the 40, just a little bit short of it. A nice gain of 13 yards as it brings up a 1st down.
At the 39-yard line.
Ready, set, hard. Here we go.
Benson on the counter. This is tough running in this weather out there, but he keeps the feet moving, gains 3. Give him 4 that time, so 6 to go on 2nd down.
4 yards on the pickup.
Ready, set.
2nd and 6. At the 43-yard line.
Out of the gun, here's Williams. He's got it. Oh, this big guy is moving. And he takes this in. Touchdown, Chicago. The Bears go up by 2 scores as they try to put this one away. And that right there, Brock, is a touchdown I think our fellow broadcaster Greg Olsen would be proud of. A big strike to the tight end that I don't think a lot of receivers could have pulled off and make it look as easy.
You know, a lot of times you're splitting hairs talking about the differences between tight ends and receivers at this level because a lot of those guys, they work the same route tree and they move with the football, well, just like their receiver teammates. And they can score some lengthy touchdowns too, just like he showed off.
He fields it from the 8. Finds some space. He's past the 30. Nice effort here. They're going to tackle him just shy of the 35.
Vikings take over 1st and 10. At their own 34-yard line.
Here's 1st and 10 from the 34. Operating from the gun, it's McCarthy. And this is lofted deep down the middle. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose. Incomplete. Looking for Justin Jefferson on that throw. And now it's 2nd down. They'll go play action here. It's McCarthy. He's going to try another deep one here. Had the window to go deep, but just couldn't make it happen. Now it's 3rd down.
Hey, I get it. If any of their pass catchers have what it takes to beat double coverage, it's him. The kids would say, he's him. That defense knew it's why they doubled him and knocked it away.
McCarthy throwing on 3rd down. Short throw is dropped. This one's incomplete.
You know, I'm not sure if he was hearing footsteps or just had a surprise break in concentration. So unusual to see one dropped unless there's a hit involved.
3 straight passes have hit the ground, but here we go. They're going for it on 4th. Desperation time here. Downfield, he's got Hawkinson. And he's going to have this down at the 42-yard line. They go for it on 4th down and get it in a big way, 25 yards there.
There are times a quarterback's got to be blacksmiths. When you're in the pocket, there's just a certain timing and precision. When you get outside that pocket, you've got to be an artist. You've got to be creative, and this guy is.
And he's going to score a touchdown, Minnesota. The Vikings can make it a 1-score game as they trim the lead. It's a Justin Jefferson touchdown. The kick is good, and they've moved back within a possession in the 4th.
Makes the score Bears 27, Vikings 19.
All right, that lead cut down to 8 after that score, and the kick is away. He'll bring it out from a couple yards deep. And he's going to make this to the 28 before going down.
The Bears take over 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
Bears making their way up to the line. Here comes 1st and 10.
Ready, set, hard.
Now an inside give to Benson. That's a nice running there on that 7-yard gain. Make it 2nd down.
While that run may not move the chains, Kate, that is such a confidence builder. It sets the tone for more play action, maybe more runs. That's exactly how you want to start a drive.
Well, he had to power through one tackle just to get back to the line that time.
He's brought down at the 37-yard line.
Third and a lone yard coming up.
Brings up 3rd and 1.
To the ground, it's Manungai. And this defense is going to win this rep. They hold strong there in the middle, get him down right at the line. 4th down coming up.
Torrey Taylor in one formation.
Oh, my, low kick and short. He completely mishit this one. And the punt team downs this one just inside the 40.
1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line.
So good field position to start with for the Vikings. It's 1st and 10. On the shotgun, McCarthy. Short pass brought in. And they're going to bring him down just on the other side of midfield. They'll move the chains after that pickup of 12.
You want to become a quarterback's best friend, do that. Turn a short little gain, a short little pass into some yards after catch, and that quarterback will find you again.
1st and 10. Here's Jones. This is tough running in this weather out there, but he keeps the feet moving, gains 3. Offense in the hurry up here.
It's a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7.
McCarthy looking to throw. An all-around tough play for him. He took a shot on the release, and it definitely affected the throw. It's incomplete. Well, he already has himself one interception in this game, partner, and throws like that are going to find him another if he isn't careful.
Yep, those are the throws you want to intersperse, can sprinkle into your passing game, because if they become the norm and you're constantly thrown into coverage, that's when 1 pick becomes 2, 2 becomes 3, and on and on.
Looking to throw. That one's caught by Jefferson. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains. A dose of the hurry-up offense here.
Vikings 1st down.
Throwing on first, it's McCarthy. This one's going to hit the ground. Incomplete. Looking for his running back there. Going to send him back to the drawing board now for 2nd down.
It's 2nd down and 10.
Throwing again now, McCarthy. Running left side by Jefferson. Gain of about 8 here. Nice pickup, but he stopped a second before he can move those chains.
It's a gain of 8. And it brings up 3rd down.
It's the 2-minute warning from Chicago. Vikings trail by 8. 3rd down and 2 here. The offense coming to the line for its 7th play of this drive. He's going to try to pick it up. He's got the 1st down grab and still going. And he'll bring it to the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. The Vikings cut it to just 2 late in the game. So there's part 1, Brock. They get the touchdown that they desperately needed. Now you'd imagine comes a try for 2.
You know, Kate, this might be just as tough as that touchdown. You know,
And he's in for the 2-point conversion near the tail end of this game. Ho-ho! We are all tied up. Now after tying this game up, they're all set to send her away. And he mishit this one badly. It's out of bounds short of the 40, and they're going to take over at that spot. They'll head up 1st and 10 from the 42.
Raise it up!
Now it's Manungai. Dropped by the first guy he met. No gain on that 1st down run. The line between safeties and linebackers gets real blurred on plays like that, Brock. He handled that one just like a Mike would have.
Yeah, if injuries were to ever crop up, Kate, I bet he could handle the linebacker spot for them as well. Just tremendous diagnosis in that run support.
Raise it up!
He'll look to throw it. Ooh, would have been a big gainer if they connected, but they could not. Instead, 3rd down coming up.
Can't cover it much better than that. Really well covered, Kate, on that play. There just simply was not a window for him to sneak that throw in.
Here he is to throw. Pass brought in by Burden. And he's tackled after getting this to the opposing 46. It's a 13-yard play, and that's enough for the first. New set of downs for him from the 46.
First and 10 at the 46-yard line.
Here he is to throw. That's too far in front, and it's not going to be caught.
That's what I call complimentary defense right there. That pressure by the group up front that leads to the incompletion and to the benefit of that secondary.
Setting up to pass. Connects on the crosser. Breaks the tackle. Oh no, the ball is loose. This is scooped up by the Vikings. Has room down the left sideline. And the defense has come through. They're in the end zone, and that gives them the lead. No one else you'd rather have scooping up that loose football. Somebody who could do some damage with it on a return.
Yeah, some poor fortune right there offensively. There was nobody there to, number one, make the recovery, or number two, make a solid tackle on that speedster. Once he got the return going, that fumble was headed all the way home.
And it didn't look like he was seriously considering a return there, did it? So that touchback going to come out to the 35.
First and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
Some nice field position here. Bears getting set. First and 10. Back to throw. Escapes the pocket. And this one's brought to a halt at about the 36-yard line. Bears trying to get everyone set. They're going quickly here.
Brings up second and 9.
Working from the gun, Williams. And Willie, no, he's not going to escape. They take him down on a pivotal play late in this ball game. Timeout Chicago. It uses its second. 4 guys out wide. Here we go, third and long. To throw. This is Cox. That's Walker. And he gets the first before stopping the clock. And even 20 seconds to go. Well, 3rd and 15. You don't see many of those picked up, partner, but they found a way.
You know, they call that the money down for a reason, because you're just simply not going to last long in the NFL if you don't convert a good portion of your third downs. It's the money down. And nice to see them roll the dice and continue the series.
Offense to the line for first down, conscious of that single timeout they've got remaining. Here's Williams. This is brought in. Big gain here for Loveland. And he's taken out of bounds as he gets it down near the red zone. How about 29 yards on that play, partner, as they get the chains reset. Offense to the line for first down, conscious of that single timeout they've got remaining. Williams from the gun. And it's not over yet. They score here in the final minutes, and now they can tie or even win this game right here. So they punch it in for 6, Brock, and now a conversion away from tying this game back up.
This one just has the feel, doesn't it? The makings of a one-score game in the 4th quarter that could go either way.
They're lining up for 2. This is for the lead and potentially the win.
Line up for the 2-point conversion.
Sticking in the air, it's Williams. And this is caught. Oh, he gets them 2 points, and with those, they've got the lead.
Bears 35, Vikings 34.
Santos has it all teed up and ready to send this away. And this is going to be a touchback, Brock, so we'll see what they decide to do with the final seconds they've got left here.
At their own 35-yard line.
So good field position to start with for the Vikings. It's 1st and 10. Play action, McCarthy. And this one falls incomplete, so we're down to 4 seconds, and we'd assume our final snap. Lucky that didn't end as an interception. So that brings up 2nd down. Well, this goes for every player in every sport, Brock. Fatigue in the 4th quarter. So that can mean dropped interceptions just as much as it can mean a dropped catch, too.
And believe it or not, Kate, quarterbacks, they can get fatigued, too.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much physically as their buddies running around and hitting, but mentally. You just get tired there as a passer. You start to assume, and that's a dangerous place to play.
One final shot here. Maybe a bit of desperation. Here's a deep shot. And this one falls incomplete.